dirty. And we do have... Wow!
Oh no!
You gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
my goodness!
The playoffs have begun. For 12 drivers, the easy part is done. For the rest, they'll have to race to make this season as respectable as possible. And what better track to start the playoffs than one of the most historical venues in not only North America, but of the entire world. As we come live here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for qualifying for round 23 of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series. Hello everybody, my name is Alex Vitale. Welcome to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A track that, apologies, a track that, I know, I've been saying this for a lot of tracks in the calendar, but this one is real. It's, this track really, absolutely needs no introductions whatsoever. Anyone with a mild knowledge of motorsports knows about Indianapolis Motor Speedway and its history, so there's really no reason to talk about what Indianapolis Motor Speedway is and what it entails. So I think we should just talk about what happened at Dover and oh dear lord, to talk about everything that happened at Dover, we'd be here 10 minutes. So in layman's terms, a lot of chaos, a lot of DNFs, 2 overtime attempts, a lot of weird crashes, including a crash from Duncan Ward that we only caught the end of it, and Alexander Rowe brought the win home because everybody ran out of fuel on the final lap because we had 2 overtime caution attempts. So yeah, and of course we had we finally have our playoff grid with Gary Movadell becoming the regular season champion, 50 points clear of, I believe it was Nathan Stapleton, if I'm being correct. No, it was Rotor Crown Jr. Nathan Stapleton actually finished 4th, but yeah, that was the regular season. Gary Movadell, well, Gary Movadell, he will be the regular season champion. So in case the playoffs go bad for him, at least he's got that one. At least he's got the consolation prize. And speaking of consolation prizes, yeah, for all the drivers that started top 12, now they're pretty much here just to race for glory. And right now, I believe Zachary Fitzwater is leading that battle for bragging rights, if I'm not being mistaken. Yeah, Zachary Fitzwater is the first of the drivers outside of the playoffs. Then is Tom Sloan, Avery Alford, Ryan Little, Holly Anderson Jr., Luke Evans, Anke Gutierrez, and Brendan B. Randy got the top 20. And yeah, as for pre-qualifying, it's our usual suspects, bar 2 drivers, who are, by this point, the only 2 remaining part-time drivers left in the field, because Alexander Rowe is now driving the 59 car, and Appalachian Motorsports haven't announced a replacement driver for the 90 car, and now at this point I doubt they'll get to that anytime soon. But Skip Silver and William Donuts for Vision Motorsports and Aegis Motorsports will be on the grid trying to join the field. And now we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room, that being the announcement of a couple of days ago, that being that after the 2025 season is done, the PSRLA will be no more. And we explained the reason, or rather I explained the reason why we decided to shut down the league at the end of the year. But to quickly recap, here Joel is not running things anymore. I'm running the things, and I said number 1. Number 2, I said I was going to run the races anymore after 2025 for all the reasons that we know. At this point, I've said this like hundreds of times. I'm pretty sure everybody has got those ingrained into their memories. And number 3, we weren't able to find any suitable replacement for the to fill the void of president and of course the guy that runs the races. So pretty much the only reason that the only logical conclusion was to just shut off the PSRLA once the season is over. Of course, that's assuming we even finish the season, but we will try our hardest to actually finish the season and to crown a natural champion. That being said, there's pretty much nothing else to be said, so what shall we say, folks? Shall we start pre-qualifying? And Skip Silver will be the first driver out on pit road, out of pit road. Of course, 5 minutes for pre-qualifying as per usual. As Samaraskan is the driver right behind them. Into the backstretch, Silver goes. Of course, one hope that we have right now is that these guys are going to put a better show than the NASCAR Cup guys are going to do, especially considering all the chicanery that happened last year. In the meantime, Skip Silver is going to start his lap at the Brickyard. Into 1 and 2. There's Tanner Parton leading the place. There's also RB Gardner. Let's see what time is Silver going to do as Gardner gives the space to Silver for the time. Around the JR Hildebrand corner, Silver goes into the straight. And it's going to be, for Skip Silver, a 41 flat for Skip Silver, as there is someone else right next to him. And Askan does a 40.7. So next up, I'd say it should be Hunter Mendoza, I want to say, unless Mendoza is on his hot lap, unless it's banker lap. As Brady Lim is leaving the pits, and of course behind Mendoza that's Jack Haas. And no, okay, Hunter Mendoza won as a flyer, and 48.2 for the 28, and 48.1 for the 50 car. Let's see if Silver is going to improve his time. He does, 47.5. And Gardner goes second fastest, 48 flat. Parton goes fifth fastest. There's William Donuts who has to score a lap. Let's see if Askan is going to better his time. He does, 47.9. Jumps all the way back to second. That's gonna send Tanner Parton out of pre-qualifying. As let's see Mendoza and Haas, what times are these guys going to do now? If they're going to prove. And Mendoza does improve, is in fifth, and Haas does improve massively, jumps up to second. There's Brady Ream. And there's William Donuts, the only two drivers, him and Ream, that yet to score a time. And 47.4 for William Donuts. There's someone else can not improved. There's Bradley Ream. Into 3 and 4 he goes. 1 minute left on the clock here for pre-qualifying. Let's see what time is Bradley Ream going to do. Into the backstretch as Haas is now in third. And let's see what time Bradley Ream is going to do. Bradley Ream, 7th time. So right now, Altskan, Ream, and Mendoza will be out of pre-qualifying. Gardner is in 4th. There's Tanner Parton and William Donuts. Parton at the edge of the top 10 right now. And now Pardon is out of qualifying because someone else can manage to improve his time. He's now up to 5th. There's Mendoza and Haas. Haas using the draft from the Williams and car of Mendoza. As we're going to overtime, let's see what time they're going to do. And Haas goes up top of the leaderboards. Second is Silver, then it will be Donuts, then it will be Gardner and Oskin that will make it to the main event. Can Donuts improve the time? He does, up to second, right behind us. Can Oskin improve his time and get out of the danger zone? He does not. Now let's see if Mendoza can actually get out of the danger zone, or Ream or Pardon. We're looking at Mendoza. And the answer looks to be... Let's see, the answer looks to be... He does! It's gonna shove Oscar out of qualifying. Let's see, Tanner Pardon. Tanner Pardon is in 7th, he's out of qualifying. And... he still stays in 7th. Let's see, Oscar, one attempt managed to get for qualifying, and he does not take it. And I think that'll be it. In fact, it'll be it for pre-qualifying. And Jack Haas, William Donuts, Skep Silver, Hunter Mendoza, and RB Gardner are drivers that will make it to qualifying, while Simon Oscar, Tanner Pardon, and Bradley Ream are going to pack things up and going home early. And with that, see you in qualifying. And Harley Davidson Jr. will be the first driver out of the road, unless somebody is going first. No. And of course, you can tell the playoff drivers by the pink name banners. As Anderson will be the first driver in qualifying, the first driver to score a time here in qualifying at Indianapolis. Meantime, there's Tom Sloan and our first playoff driver in Lara Koshmar. Koshmar, who is, I believe, in 9th in the playoff standings. Coming into this race, of course, as a lot more drivers are leaving the pits. There's Fogelman, another playoff driver. There's Ayers, as Anderson does their banker lap. More drivers are leaving. There's Carson Miller. Into 3 and 4. As Rowe bank completes his banker lap, as does Perez. In the meantime, let's focus on the first actual time in anger by Ali Anderson Jr. And it's going to be 37.3. What time Sloan is going to do? There he is, and Sloan does 46.9, of course, fastest time, provisional pole. As there are more drivers scoring, going to score times, as Koshmar is now in 3rd, and now Andrew Williams goes up to 3rd. There is Nathan Stapleton. Sloan's in pole position as Stapleton completes his banker lap. Paris goes for fastest. And now Crown goes 3rd fastest, using the draft from Bob Duncan Ward and being helped by another playoff driver in Jonathan Carrison. There's Gary Movidal. As Bryce Seeger goes 6th fastest, no 7th fastest, now 8th fastest because Skep Silver scored third best time, and now fourth best time because Fogelman scored third best time. In the meantime, let's check out Robert Crown Jr. If they can improve their time, as well as Jonathan Carrison right behind. As Stapleton goes second fastest, the closest anyone's ever able to cut up to the time of Tom Sloan. As Crown goes fourth fastest, now fifth fastest because Bryce Egan is on top of the leaderboards. And now Skep Silver has gone back top of the leaderboards, with Bobadell now dropping down to 9th and Crown back up to, down to 10th. Now Crown is out of the top 10. Stapleton goes up to the top 10 as Fitzwater is now up to second. Then is Koshmar, Nicole. Then is Fogelman. So right now, third is Alexander Rowe. Now it's Justin Perez. So right now the highest playoff drive position was Richard Fogelman. Now is back to being Roberto Crown Jr. Actually, no, it's Jonathan Carrison on pole position. A playoff driver is in pole position, that being Jonathan Carrison. There's Movadell. Movadell has now managed to plumb himself back into second. So right now, the top 10 with 5 minutes left on the clock is Jonathan Carrison, Gary Movadell, Jeffrey Finguy. Finally, Finguy has managed to score a time, and he's got the first fastest time. As we're looking if it's Stapleton, there's Bruno Checo right behind them. And what time is Stapleton going to do? Not in the top 10. There is G's D'Amelio. D'Amelio currently in... Where is D'Amelio currently in? D'Amelio is in 33rd. As of the top 10 right now is Carrison, Movadell, Finguy, Davidson, as now Anthony Nicol got up to 9th. And now Koshman and improve this time to kick out Perez out of the top 10. And right now, as Finguy now is officially top of the leaderboards, unless Stapleton has anything to say about it, or any of these guys, maybe does either Crown, Movadell, or Carrison have anything to say about it? And the answer looks to be no. None of these three have anything to say about Finguy's pole time. Of course, Jeffrey Finguy, as we stated oh so many times, is the driver that wants to win the championship the most out of anyone, because of what happened in the 2024 season. Now let's see if the defending champion can improve his time, and the answer looks to be no. So right now, the highest classified driver is Finguy on pole. There's Philip Torres, another driver of the playoffs. Torres is not having a good day at all. He's down in 34th. Fogelman is in 6th. Koshmar is now in 11th, just at the edge of the top 10. There's Troy Williams Jr. Troy Williams Jr. is down in... Where is Troy Williams Jr.? He's down in 25th. Let's see if he can improve his time using the draft from Blaine Keys and being helped by 3 cars. And the answer is no. He does not improve his time. He's still stuck in the 25. Ooh, somebody crashed into the wall. And that's Richard Fogelman. Fogelman crashed into the wall. As it looks like Ayers brushed the wall at the exit of 2. There is D'Amelio in the pits. But yeah, now in terms of top 10, Jeffrey Finguy is in pole position. Then is Zane Davidson. Then is Jonathan Carrison. Then is Nathan Stapleton, Gary Movadell, Richard Fogelman, Skep Silver. Then it's going to be Will Crown Jr. and Tom Sloan and Zachary Fitzwater. So basically, everybody bar 3 are playoff drivers. Of course, we're looking at Movidel and Crown, who were the two biggest rivals in the regular season, and of course we will try. Of course, we will see if they're gonna extend their rivalry even in the playoffs. And neither of them look like they're going to improve their times. So Movidel is in 5th, Crown is in 8th. There's Alexander Rowe. Rowe is currently in 15th place. There's Williams Jr. Andrew Williams, sorry. Andrew Williams is currently in 18th, so not a good result for the winner at Willow Springs. 50 seconds left on the clock. As Blinkies, who has been actually, now that I think about it, he has had a very disappointing 2025 season. Not only here in the PSRLA Cup Series, where it was basically a complete non-factor the entire season, but also in the World Cup Series, because going from runner-up to not even making it to the top, not making it to the playoffs, that's gotta sting for Blinkies. He won, that is, but the purpose was one of the top teams in the World Cup Series, that being Brandon Wimbledon's Pacific Racing, to which, by the way, now was a voice crack. Pacific and Team Andrews Racing, which is the team that I drive for the World Cup Series, reached on a partnership. So yeah, and of course, we have to mention the fact that Stuart Braden will be leaving the World Cup Series at the end of the year, and actually leave the NRSC08, the entire NRSC08 at the end of the year, with Matt Tuck and Ludovic Charette poised to take basically the reins of the former Grand Empire, of the soon-to-be former Grand Empire. So the 2026 season is going to be an interesting. The 2026 World Cup Series season is going to be interesting, which way you slice it. And of course, speaking personally, I really hope that I can actually make the playoffs, because yeah, missing the playoffs for this year on for that little really stung. Okay, that is my first year, but still, I would have loved to make it into the playoffs. But in the meantime, looks like the qualifying is going to end. In fact, it does end, and Jeffrey Finn guy will start off the playoffs in the best way possible by starting on pole position at Indianapolis. Second alongside it will be another playoff driver in Zane Davidson. Then we have another playoff driver in Jonathan Carrison, and we got Gary Movidel, Nathan Stapleton, Gary Movidel, Reggie Fogelman, Skip Silver, Roberto Crown Jr., Tom Zlon, and Avery Alford running up the top 10. And running up the rear of the field will be Charlie Davenport and Hunter Mendoza. So in the top 10, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers, for 7 playoff drivers, and of course, great result from Skip Silver in the 14 Vision Motorsports car to show the speed that these cars have on the Vision Motorsports cars have had this entire year. As for other playoff driver, Koshmar is in 12th, then is Philip Torres in 18th, Andrew Williams in 19th, Bryce Egan in 20th, and yeah, and that's basically all of them, yes, and Skip Silver is stated that will start in 7th, while William Donuts will start all the way down in 27th. So Jeffrey Finn guy will start the playoffs in the best way possible. Alongside him will be Zane Davidson and a bunch of playoff drivers. And rounding up the rear of the field will be Charlie Davenport and Hunter Mendoza. At this point, it's not even that big of a news. The drivers from the 2 worst performing teams of the year driving. It's usually the drivers rounding up the rear of the field are usually the drivers from the worst teams on the grid. So at this point, it's not that surprising anymore. But anyway, this has been qualifying for the for round 23 of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series, and there's nothing else to be said other than this has been a special presentation of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series for the 457 Network. I'm Alex Vitale, and see you tomorrow for the race.